This is a video to show you how to copy an angle. So what you're going to do first is just draw any angle that you want. You don't have to measure it, just draw an angle. Remember, an angle has two sides that are rays, okay? And go ahead and label it. I'm going to label mine A, and so that's going to be my angle A. And so I'm going to copy that angle. To do that, you need your compass. And what you're going to do is make sure your pencil is sharp to be more accurate. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the point and put it on that vertex A and make an arc. So it needs to be, make sure that it goes through both. Okay, so just a little arc there so that it hits both sides of the angle. And notice that you get two little intersection points. So now what we're going to do is keep it at that length, so don't move that. And then what you need to do is draw the side of the angle that the second angle that you're making a copy of. So just draw a side. So you're going to start with a point and draw a ray. So I'm just going to draw the ray first, put an arrow, then put a point here. I'm going to call that B. So my angle B is going to be a copy of angle A. So now in order to get the same angle measurement, we're going to keep that same arc length that you did with the point on vertex A, and now put the point on vertex B. And now you want to make an arc big enough so it's like about that same size, because it has to be at least this big here from this length, otherwise it's not going to be the same size angle. So just make a big enough arc. So that's definitely big enough. Okay, so now to actually get the same measurement, what you're going to do is we're going to adjust the length of the radius of our compass here, and we want it to go from here to here, so we're like measuring that angle. So you need to make it a little smaller here. And what you want to do is you're going to make an arc with it just to make sure it hits right. So don't just measure it and be done. You actually want to try to make a little arc so that it intersects at the same spot. So this looks okay, but then if I actually make an arc here, you can see that it's too far. And it's easier to see when you're doing it yourself because you can zoom in closer. Okay, but that's a little too short. So it's not gonna happen on the first try, okay? So you're gonna have to do some adjusting. And the more careful you are, the better your angle is going to be, the more accurate you're going to be. So I suggest take a little time to do it, but it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Okay, so I'm just going to draw my little arc. So that arc is still just a little off. So I'm just going to make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, and that should be good. And you'll probably you might put a hole in your paper like I just did. Okay, so you've got that measurement here, and so now you're going to do the same thing over here. So it doesn't matter that I put the point up here versus up here. I can flip it around and still would have the same distance. So I need to flip it around because the side of my angle is the bottom one. So I need to put my point on the intersection of the arc and the one side of my angle. And then you're going to make a little arc, and it doesn't have to be big to get the intersection. And so basically we measured that arc there to make sure it's the same. So now you have the intersection of the two arcs, and so you can draw a point on there. You don't have to, because sometimes when we draw that point, like I said, it makes this be a little off because we didn't draw our point exactly on there. And so now we want to draw a line, a ray actually, from point vertex B to that point, and that will make the rest of our angle. So use your protractor as a straight edge or any other straight edge that you have, and make sure it's going to go through both the vertex B and that point. And again, the more careful you are, the more precise you are, the better it comes out. Okay, and draw your ray and put an arrow to show that it's a ray. And then yeah, we can see that those angles are pretty good. So that should be a copy of the angle. And what we can do to test it out is actually measure the angle using your protractor. So I'm going to go up here and see how big was my angle. And remember, when you're measuring an angle, you have one of the sides of the angle has to be on this flat part, and then you try to put the middle of that vertex in the circle there. So once you do that, then I can see, oh, mine's about right at 25. So we measure angles. We're measuring from here to here, so you're looking at the inside. So this would be 0 going up to 25. So that's 25 degrees. And so let's see if this one's also 25 degrees. So I'm going to do the same thing, put that vertex B in the middle of the circle, make sure my line, that side of the angles lines up with that straight line. And then, yeah, I mean, it's a little off, it's a little more. That one was a little above 25, but yeah, that's basically the same exact angle. So 25 degrees. So we have successfully copied that angle. You don't have to measure it every time, but it's nice to see how accurate you are. But yeah, that's how you copy an angle.